from Tulip Square, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute placemat. This is one that was recently designed by Tess, my daughter, the other half of Tulip Square, and I put it together this week and I'm going to show you how to do it. So we're going to head over to the sewing machine and we'll do it step by step together. See you over there. Okay, to make this set of placemats, you're going to need white and 3 shades of whatever your preferred color is for your placemats. I'm going to use 3 shades of blue. This will be my light, my medium, and my dark. And all of these, if you're interested, are from Connecting Threads, and it's the Cloisonne collection. And there's about maybe 18 different colors in that collection, and there's some really pretty ones in there, which these are part of them. Okay, to get started, we're going to take the 2 larger white squares, and remember all of the dimensions and quantities for all the pieces are in the PDF, and there will be a link for that at the end of the video. So I'm going to start by taking the 2 large squares and I'm going to sew my medium colored pieces like this to opposite sides of the white squares. So they're going to get sewn here and here with a nice even 1/4 inch seam. And then I'm going to press that towards the dark, and we're going to proceed from there. Now once I've pressed them open, I'm going to take 2 of the next size pieces, do this a little bit, and sew them to the top and bottom. And they just get put like this and stitched evenly at the top and bottom. 1/4 inch seams. Okay, now you're going to have 4 pieces like this. I've pressed them all towards the darker colors and away from the white on the back, and we're going to set those aside for now. And then I'm going to take these pieces, medium size, the lighter color blue with the medium size, and I'm going to take a white square and I'm going to put it on the right hand side of each piece like this, and I'm going to sew a diagonal line from here to here. Now if you need to, you can draw a line. I'm going to draw right from dot to dot. I'm going to draw a line right from corner to corner. It's not very dark, is it? You see that line? I'm going to sew on that line. Now, if you have a line on your sewing machine, I've got a little strip of tape. Oops. My lamp is in the way here. I've got a little strip of tape right here. So when I sew diagonal lines, I just like to line up the points with the line. And then when I sew, I'm right on that line. But either way, whether you mark it on your sewing machine or you draw it on the piece, you need to sew the diagonal lines on the right side of these pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do that next. Also kind of worth mentioning is when you're sewing on a diagonal, it's easier to sew from the edge that has fabric up here rather than it is to sew from this point, because some machines have a tendency to kind of chew up that little point if there's nothing else with it. So if you start from here, you've got this edge to kind of help catch the fabric. Once you've got those all sewn, you're going to trim off about 1/4 inch and press this open, and do that with all the pieces. Now you're going to do a similar thing on these darker squares, only you're going to put the white squares on the left hand side of each rectangle, like so. And then you will sew the diagonal stripe this way. So do that on all of these dark with the white squares. Okay, once these are all pressed towards the corner and trimmed off, I'm going to take these and the previous pieces, and we're going to sew them together like this. Make them into pairs like so, with a nice 1/4 inch seam. Do that with all of those pieces. All right, I've sewn these together like so, and I've pressed the seams open just to reduce bulk. Now I'm going to set these pieces aside, and I'm going to take the larger light colored blue rectangles and the dark blue squares, and I'm going to sew them same as I did before on a diagonal line on the right hand side of each of these pieces. Now I took all these pieces and I cut off the edge and I pressed them. I'm pressing them all this way, and then I'm going to take a white square, put it on the opposite side, and stitch it diagonally this way, so both angles are going the same direction. So when it's done, it would look like this. So I'm going to go ahead and trim and press all these, and then I'm going to sew these and press them also, so I'll have a bunch of pieces like this. And you'll need a total of 4 of these for each placemat, so if you're making the set of 4, you'll have 16 of these. Now you have your pieces that look like this, with both of the triangles going in the same kind of direction. Now we're going to do the same thing with these dark rectangles and the light colored squares, only this time they're going to be opposite of this one. So these will be sewn so they go this way. So you're going to put them all on the left hand side and sew this here, so that when it's turned, when it's folded, it's going to be opposite of this. So go ahead and sew a little light colored square on the left hand edge of each of the dark rectangles. And then you're going to take the white squares and do the same thing as you did before, where they go in the same direction. So once this is done, this will be this way and this will be this way. So they'll be like this. Okay, so now you've got your pieces like this, and you've got your pieces like this. And if you sewed them correctly, these angles are all going this way and these are going this way. And you're going to sew them together in pairs like this, so you have the white triangle at the bottom like this. So all of the pairs together like that. Nice 1/4 inch seam, and stitch them up. Now you've got all your pieces like this, and what you need to do next is take them in pairs and swing them around and sew them together so that you've got a white diamond in the middle. And just sew them all. Nice 1/4 inch seam, and take care of that, and then we'll continue. Now you have your pieces that look like this. We're going to set those aside, and we're going to take the earlier pieces that we made, these smaller pieces like this, and we're going to take our first pieces. We're going to set these bigger ones aside. We're going to take these pieces and we're going to sew them to the sides like so, with the white pointing towards this medium blue. So you're going like that, right? And just sew those and sew all of those, and then we'll continue. And now you have what looks like this. Means we're almost done. And now you're going to take these bigger pieces and sew one here and one here. Let's get a backup thing. Get these out of the way. So you sew these to the sides right here, so you can see that this and this piece connect and these two pieces connect, so you can see how they make this diagonal on both sides. So you're going to sew those with a nice 1/4 inch seam. And now all that's left to do here, let me back up a little bit. All that's left to do is sew the strips along the two sides. I'm going to just sew those on, and we'll be done with them. And there it is, all finished and ready for quilting and binding. Now this is a good size placemat. It's going to be about 12 by 20 inches when it's done. All right, so I'm going to go off and quilt these and bind them, and we'll see you later. So now you know how to make this placemat pattern. It's a pretty easy one. It's kind of pretty. This is a nice good size pattern. This placemat is 12 by 20 if you make it like this, and if you want it smaller, you can leave off these two outside blue strips, and then it would be 12 by 16. But this is also a nice size for on the end of a coffee table or an end table or a nightstand. It makes your whole end table into a coaster. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit the like button. You can hit the subscribe button to be notified. No, you hit the notify button if you want to be notified when we have new videos. And I believe up in this corner is a link for this pattern. It is number 643. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you again next time. Have a good week and happy sewing. Bye-bye.